Welcome back, folks. Jared Paulson speaking again. Next up is number 2, and it is Kid Math, Part 1. Now, before I begin a review on this episode, I want to tell you something. What if PBS Kids had a spin-off series called Kid Math? So, they had this superhero named Kid Math, also known as Rex from the planet Hexagon. And so, everyone make a comment below and think if they're going to make a Kid Math TV series, like somewhere debut on around 28, somewhere debut in the fall or perhaps next year. But leave a comment below and tell me what your proposal is. So, anyway, let's begin. The episode begins with Dr. Two Brains, Becky, and Wordgirl battling in the candlestick factory until, out of nowhere, Kid Math appears out of nowhere and interrupts. And soon, Kid Math, Wordgirl, and Huggy, actually, Kid Math introduces himself to Wordgirl and Huggy and tells him he is from the planet Hexagon. And Hexagon, however, is nearby planet Lexicon, over by the solar system, over in the galaxy. Anyway, he tells a little bit about his origins, how he came to Earth. And, however, Wordgirl and Huggy and Kid Math have somehow gotten in a situation that Dr. Two Brains topples one of the candlestick smokestack, topples them over with the cheese ray, and somehow Dr. Two Brains gets away at the time. Anyway, Kid Math runs off, and Wordgirl and Huggy head over to school, and they somehow realize that Kid Math realizes that Becky really is Wordgirl and almost sends Becky into a panic to almost reveal her identity to the kids in the playground. So, Kid Math and Becky and Bob explain to Kid Math on being a superhero and ways of being a superhero to be on Earth. Anyway, Kid Math has some of the then shows them ways of being a superhero on Earth. For then, Kid Math and Becky and Bob somehow hears a panic across the city. It is Dr. Two Brains once again in a warehouse. Kid Math zooms off, and Becky needs to really full sense to Kid Math, teaching how to be a superhero in the city. So, Becky and Bob turn the superheroes Wordgirl and Huggy face, and they zoom off and find Kid Math captured, which is not a good thing. And somehow he got distracted by Dr. Two Brains, and Kid Math and Wordgirl and Huggy battle Dr. Two Brains and his henchmen, and Kid Math is almost been gooped. So Wordgirl defends him, and the duo got captured. Dr. Two Brains escapes again, and Kid Math escapes out of the cage, and then he decides to try to take down Dr. Two Brains, but they suddenly escape. So, on the other hand, Wordgirl tries to teach Kid Math around the city where she lives, but she even tells him this city is better than any planet, any city there's ever been. And then he zooms into Becky's house, who then tells... Well, let's start off. I was saying, like I said, remember, Kid Math's real name is Rex, and he has got to remember that Wordgirl's real name is Becky Botsford. So here they have both superhero identities. So if Kid Math has to learn from her, he needs to take these lessons very seriously from Wordgirl. Anyway, Becky, Rex, and Bob head into Becky's house, where Tim is cooking, where he introduces Rex to his father. He then defines the word calculate. He then explains that he is Kid Math as well, which is a stupid thing to do. Then Becky, then on the other hand, tries to pull some sense into him, trying to tell him he needs to keep his identity a secret in order to protect all the citizens of the fair city until something comes up in the news where the Two Brains and his henchmen are on a blimp floating over the city with the cheese ray and the wax ray, getting ready to fire a full wax ray onto the city. Then Wordgirl and Huggy, then Becky tells Rex he has a distraction plan to tell him to stop them, to let them know what you're doing, and it's been a long time since I've seen this episode, so let me back it up a bit. Anyway, this episode, however, letting his family know and friends know where she has no worries of knowing them, of getting them worried. And somehow Becky transforms into Wordgirl and Rex transforms into Kid Math, and the three of them, and Bob turns into Huggy Face, and the three of them confront Dr. Two Brains, and somehow Dr. Two Brains tricks Kid Math on luring into a cage that lures all three superheroes all in one, and then the one machine is firing the wax ray on top of them, and somehow opens suspense for the three, ending part 1. Okay. Now let's begin part 2 of Kid Math. In the beginning of part 2, the narrator recaps what happened last time in part 1. So, Wordgirl, Kid Math, Huggy escape from their cages and defend themselves from the goop ray. Then, on the other hand, Becky has to go to dinner, what she has to do. Then Kid Math runs away, and the three of them head for the school on the next day. Then Kid Math and Rex, on the other hand, bothers a girl who tells her she is Kid Math. Please, Rex, learn these lessons from Wordgirl, and you'll be fine. How are you gonna do it on your own show? If PBS Kids is gonna make it. Anyway, Becky, on the other hand, tries to stop Kid Math what he's doing, and the three of them, and somehow Becky teaches Rex more than just saving the city and defeating villains. He has to rely on the people he's protecting. So Becky decides to introduce Becky's best friend Violet, who is painting in a nearby art classroom, until Expedition Guy comes in and interrupts Becky, Bob, and Rex. So, Rex, on the other hand, decides to make a distraction for her teacher, to make it a getaway for Bob, Becky, and Rex. So the three decide to take on Dr. Two Brains and the henchmen one last time for Rex's rookie training. So Dr. Two Brains' plan is to turn the entire city into wax. Next, turn the whole city into cheese. So it's going to be possibly difficult for Wordgirl and Kid Math and Huggy to take down Dr. Two Brains, his henchmen, and the Goop Rays taking down turning the city into cheese. So Kid Math decides to split up with Huggy and Wordgirl for them to stop the Two Brains, while Kid Math stops the ray. And somehow their plan worked. Kid Math took down henchmen and the ray. Wordgirl and Huggy take down Dr. Two Brains and his henchmen. And then somehow the plan worked, gaining a 1 victory for Wordgirl and Huggy, and 1 victory for Kid Math. And so, Kid Math and Wordgirl and Huggy are victorious, and he doesn't have to protect his identity as Rex anymore when he's Kid Math. So the three of them become superheroes and super friends, and there, the episode ends. Okay, here are some things liked about this episode. 1. This introduces a new character of the show, Kid Math, who is played by the famous Jack McBrayer. 2nd, I was thinking if Kid Math was a TV series on PBS Kids, like a sequel to Wordgirl. So please leave a comment below if they're planning on making a TV series of Kid Math. So I like to say, just give me a comment or something else. Anyway, what more I like about this episode is that it is a great way to teach Kid Math what he is, or who he really is, to ensure his training goes well in protecting the city, its citizens, and defeating villains. So, that's about it. Everybody, anyway, Jared Paulson saying good day, and see you next time on number 1. Bye.